Happy Saturday, everyone. I think Shivangi is not here, but Parul, you can get started.
Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Today we're going to practice Satsang, which is a lifestyle and a process that was started by my great grandfather, Dr. Chhatrabhuj Saheji. He founded that if we all come together and practice meditation 10 minutes a day in the morning and at night, we can be on the path to reaching enlightenment. And I think we're going to go as normal. I'm going to start with the topic. My dad will come in and have his own talk and also will guide us into meditation. And then we will have a Q&A session. So most of us, it seems like we have familiar faces today, so I'm just going to get started. There was a phrase that I was looking at last night actually. Don't fear losing people, fear losing your connection with God. And here we believe in higher energy, the universe, source consciousness, the guru's light, or whatever deity you choose to believe in. But I found that was really interesting because, separation is an illusion. So to me, the whole gig is that we are not separate from the creator. We are meant to be unified with the creator. And we are meant to start seeing the highest energy in every person, place, and thing within this universe. And until we get there, separation and division is the biggest thing standing in our way. So every person, every event, every job is so uniquely designed for you to wake up and realize that the illusion is actually that you're separate from anything. So whatever you're holding on to so tightly because you're afraid to lose it is your separation from the creator. Your lack of faith is the separation from the creator. Your inability to see the divine in everyone around you and instead reacting and being triggered by them is the separation. These are all lessons that are so infused with light that if we just choose to wake up, we will become unified. So your morning coffee is infused with light just as much as your fight with your spouse can shift and transform and become your gateway and path to bringing more light, understanding, and freedom into your life. If you just pause and shift the energy and choose to see a new energy in everything around you. But until we can see the divine in every single thing that we do, say, be, and interact with, then we are in separation from the divine and we are in separation consciousness instead of unity consciousness. The whole gig is that I am not separate from you. We are connected. And in the eyes of the divine, we are completely equal and capable of becoming one with the divine. So start moving through the world like that. Start thinking about how we can overcome the little moments in the day that we are under the illusion that the divine isn't present in every single thing in person. Sometimes it's a struggle to move through for your growth, and sometimes it's genuinely seeing the light so clearly that you can see how we're also connected. So start moving through the world in a way that you will become one with source consciousness instead of separating from it. That's my food for thought for the day. I think something to think about, something to meditate on, and we will be connecting with that source. So let's get into it.
Well, I think in a way we kind of heard the definition of satsang here. And in a way, the practical implementation. So when we meditate, so satsang means that you are with the transcendental energy. Whatever be the source, you connect, feel the presence, and that becomes your strength, that becomes your shield, that becomes your um, gateway to enlightenment, knowledge, etc. Um, Interestingly, you know, exactly this topic was in a very different context was I was discussing with someone yesterday. so somebody said that one of us actually, said that you know um, the discussion was more about um, why I want to interact with people versus don't want to interact with people, and the uh, you know um, the barriers around it. Um, and they are mental blocks in my view. Um, and what I said was that when we are in satsang, so beyond the meditation, if you're connected with transcendental energy, I think a situation comes, and I have seen this practiced not once but several times, that you start feeling that transcendental energy across, um, in the nature and people and so on and so forth. And I think Parul was kind of referring to that. Um, so when we become so grounded in Sat, the transcendental energy, not only we feel strong, we feel complete, we feel connected, um, we start seeing the same thing in others. Um, so much so that everyone has some amount of this positive energy. And when we meet in satsang, I have almost started feeling very convinced that all the small amounts of sat in everyone participating kind of comes together um, in a multiplier effect. And that's the collective energy of the group, collective energy that also is referred to as satsang. Um, so, so if you don't interact with persons, rather you just interact with sat, your interactions just transform completely. So in traditional or ancient ways, what I have seen, you know, being discussed and talked about in context of satsang and discourses in India is anyone who comes is sent by Guru Maharaj, and you have to respect them, treat them as somebody sent by them. So basically, in a way, it is like you recognize the sat in them, you recognize the um, transcendental energy that permeates in everyone. Um, so if you are in every interaction only interacting with transcendental energy, um, your interactions just become something else, totally different than where they are. And in the process, I think, and I don't know, I mean, sometimes I feel that am I ignoring the negative, or am I um, seeing something different, or um, it's just that the strength and the tolerance and and I was on a different topic talking to Parul about if my vessel is full, so if my vessel is full of this positive uplifting energy, where would I find space for the negative that comes around me? So that's another aspect, that if we are connected and we have absorbed and we have stored enough transcendental energy, we should be so complete that we don't invite any negativity, negative energy, or we just don't have space for that. So, yeah, on that note, let's practice, because it's this practice that makes the difference. So, you know, what we do during the meditation slowly starts permeating through the rest of the day, as we have discussed. More we absorb, the more we store, the more our capacity increases, our ability to stay grounded in this uh, transcendental energy just continues to rise. And that makes the difference in how we interact with people. And what's the effect of others on us versus what's the effect of us on others, all that starts changing. Okay, so inward orientation and concentration, that's where we begin. So eyes lightly closed, and just make sure that the body is still and in a relaxed posture. The eyes lightly closed, relaxed and still posture. And then think about this transcendental energy in form of light that's right here, right now. Feel the presence, feel the connection. And this transcendental energy in form of light is coming into our heart, distributing throughout our body. And we are becoming one with this light. We are completely and totally getting immersed in this light. Mind wanders away, bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy is entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming the light. We'll start with music, then music fades away, and we go deep into silent meditation on this transcendental light. And then a few minutes later, we transition out with music again. Let's start. So happy Saturday, everyone. I was just remembering last weekend at the end, we actually had a pretty good free-flowing discussion. Um, but coming back to the topic, so before I give it back to Parul, this was one image that I got from um, one of us. Every single one of us is a unique vibration in a beautiful symphony of infinite creation. Wow. Actually, my cousin's husband was in Philadelphia last year and this year, and he was talking about vibration and um, light is wave, and that's vibration, and ultraviolet, X-rays. We have um, within us. You know, we are made up of molecules which have electrons, and that's so we have our own vibration, and as this says, like a unique vibration, and when we resonate with um, others in the same vibration, and I think that's the concept of mantras in a way, and but I think it's more subtle than that as well. So on that note, Parul, it's to you.
Love that. So if anybody does want to come on, or if you have questions or any comments on today's topic, just come on. Or say hi. We would love to say hi.
I'll just come on and say happy Saturday, everyone. It's always great to see you all.
Happy Saturday. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Always good to see you.
Always good to be here. Thank you for the beautiful meditation. And I really liked your piece in the beginning. Actually, it made me tear up because it really is directly relevant to something I'm struggling with at the moment. There's something I'm holding on to. I'm at a certain place of employment, and I've held on to it even though it doesn't necessarily align with my values. And so, but it takes care of other anxieties and fears that I have. So I'm thinking about leaving, and it's kind of like a major, that would be kind of like major because I had always been in that particular type of employment since for just like almost my whole career. So but it's just like it's directly relevant because I do think holding on to something that doesn't align with you or serve, like the purpose that you've been you have here, it does separate you from the divine, I think. So anyway, I was thinking about it and I feel like it was a direct message. But I don't know that I'll be able to let go, but I'm trying.
I think when it's supposed to happen, it happens kind of naturally. Like there isn't the heaviness of it. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think what I'm learning is also that there's like slivers of light in the part that you're going through right now. So that's what we kind of have to find is like, even if we're in really tough situations, how do we find the light in that as well? Because otherwise we can start to escape, run away from things, just keep moving on to the next, looking for that light. But it can actually be found right here, right now. So that's another thing. Like we have to unify with everything instead of separating, being like, this is a different vibration than I am, but what if I found that vibration in the thing right now, and then I'm able to leave and move on to the next thing?
That's a great point. And I think I can do that. I do that because I'm with other people that I work with other people who are aligned with. And so, and sometimes you fight little battles, uh, and you win little battles. But
yeah, I think it's all like, especially like, when you become more spiritual, it's like the physical reality is just presenting lessons. It's like, okay, can you stay connected now? Can you stay connected now? Like, this is what it becomes, so that we learn that we're not separate from anything at all. So, I mean, if you want to chime in on that with the jobs and everything, it's tough. So,
Yeah, I'll send Liz a note.
Thank you.
Um, but I think what Parul you just said resonates, which is, uh, you know, sometimes, and why sometimes? I think in a way, our tolerance, our, connection, our the ability to remembrance, feeling the presence, all that is being tested all the time. And so let's not cave in. It's a lot of, and Guru Maharaj has documented this process is simple because people have given up their lives into service of so many different kinds throughout different cultures. And when we take the normal course, uh, you know, honest living, and even in the normal course, it's you go through so many tests, and think of that in, I don't know, I mean, how to being sensitive, but I think the focus ought to be that everything that is thrown on our plate is to make us stronger. Um, and I think we should take it that way. Um, and I'll just give you an example way back when, um, decades ago, my father was still there, and I, had a really bad situation happen. And his first thing was like, okay, are you safe? I said, yeah. And he said, it's a blessing. And, you know, and then, so he would not give a compliment like culturally uh, on my face. And he was talking to somebody else about that incident. And he's then said that building tolerance is very, very, very important. And I think tolerating what we are made to face, I think makes us stronger. That's where I would leave it.
Thank you both.
yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was a great question.
That's why we say we should all pray for each other. All stand together.
Yeah, actually, like during meditation, like afterwards, you should pray for others. I think, yeah, that's
and last 2, 3, because there is a situation, somebody is very, very, very ill. And I was thinking about it, and, not only we should meditate and pray for ourselves, but we should do that for others. So, yeah.
Actually, this is perfect because Pooja said I wanted to ask for one thing. I don't put focus on me, rather I see my family always as they are the only ones we have. And it's such that automatically I get pain because it feels painful when I talk to them or get in touch. It's like there are circumstances which have caused it, but it's hard to make my own balance. And it's like I can't be me even if I am far from them, as I'm always connected somehow. And every single day I then get sad when I think or feel, how would they be? So, how should I be focused on me and stay happy and strong? Family is a tough one. The biggest lesson. So, Dad, any thoughts?
This one even goes deeper. So sometimes it's hard to explain and express, but I have seen this in action. So one of the tenets of Guru Maharaj's philosophy was that love everyone. Not so he was like, if he loved his family, he had a huge circle, and his love you could not differentiate between one versus the other. But at the same time, he documents again and again and again that all he connects with is his guru and his guru's energy. So he's connected with everyone and he's not connected with anyone at the same time. And that um, is, uh, I think, fundamental, um, because who are you connecting to? If you're connecting to people, then people will go up and down, their behavior, their interaction, their physique, etc., etc., etc. So you will go up and down. That's not what satsang talks about. So satsang always talks about, connect to the highest self, highest energy, highest sat, and that's it. So then how do you interact with others in a way that your sat is not affected? Incidentally, I started this session by saying, if, and that was my discussion with Parul, and I um, talked about, like, if I am full of positive energy and I have no space for anything else, then how do I interact with others? That interaction is literally, and I can see it, like it's a splash of positive energy. Everyone around, everyone I interact with only gets affected positively. Now, then comes these real problems. I was sitting in front of my superior at work, and he was degrading, almost being so nasty. And I was trying my best to keep my shield, keep myself, positive the way I have just described. And his interaction was continually the same. And sometimes when I describe it, I also see that picture that am I, so the thing is that using all your might to defend, stand up, and uh, fight for your right, all that is part of this too. Because when you are strong and you don't care about, um, you know, if you're standing for something, you will stand up. And People have done that throughout history. They had this strength, inner strength, to be able to face, the oppression and, etc. So it's a fine dividing line where, uh, yes, I want to see the positive in others, but that does not mean that, I will not fight when I need to. But it would, so emotional regulation is very different than standing up for my right. So AC also just, but going back to Parul, what you were talking about, and Pooja's situation is that we ought to, stay connected with, the positive, the transcendental energy, and our interaction with everyone near and dear should be that I have this positive energy, I'm sharing it with you, not the other way.
Yeah, we can't really control anybody else. So obviously, people will go through their own journey. But I think also what you're saying is that stay connected with your own positivity, pray for others, hope that that can affect their energy as well. Yeah, AC did say about family.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. I think she is talking about people around you will pull you up, right? Happens all the time and should happen all the time. Um, and and I and the next part of her note is what satsang is all about in India. I think I saw that so much in action that people not knowing each other, have such a huge and strong bond, um, that and I see this today, I've seen this yesterday, I saw it, uh, you know, um, so it's absolutely, um, I every time I think about love thy neighbor, to me is neighbor could be anybody, right? Anybody. So and uh, it's like you. What that means is that people who are, near you for whatever reason, just give them support, give them compassion, give them love, and I think Guru Maharaj, one of the things that people have documented, and Guru Maharaj himself documented, is like if somebody came to him, he would not ask where from. I mean, that might be for conversation's sake, but if somebody wanted to learn something from him, the meditation or other anything else, his house was always open, his door was always open, he was always accessible. While traveling, he used to meet people. And that tradition I have seen personally just carry on in this family. Like, you know, Panditji Maharaj, one of his followers, he used to travel 20 days out of every month throughout northern India, meet people in the train, while in the sessions, and uh, and those people and him like would sometimes, like, I have stories and stories and stories where they just, uh, followed him everywhere, became so close to him, and goes on and on.
Yeah, I love that. Also, I feel like everything is like so uniquely designed. Like if you're going to take the spiritual route, then all of these things are making you more empathic, more compassionate, more able to deeply love others because of the things you've been through and the way you had to interact with certain people, especially in family. So that's another thing. But yeah, just leading us back to love, right, Dad?
Well, yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi, Rick.
Hello.
Hi. You okay?
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Just really interesting topic. The air's been heavy everywhere. People's energies seem to be very drained, quite low. So I've been trying to make my way to at least smile at people when I walk past them, say hello, say thank you. And I've actually noticed some people either try to avoid it or they feel like shocked and thankful for it. There's been two very split reactions this week, and it's just shown me how the state of the world right now. Even though I'm in London, everything that's happening in America is very prominent. And so I have been meditating once a day for myself and once a day for everyone else, and trying really hard to send out love and light and peace. And I've noticed that my energy has remained high, I think, because I've been doing that. So I just want to encourage everyone in the room to try to do that themselves, because the higher we can keep our own vibrations, the more we can help others. And it's just something I definitely want to keep practicing now. It's been amazing to see the change in myself and in the reactions of people who have welcomed it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it's kind of important and a lot to do with what you're speaking about today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything else that you can recommend that we can all do to try to help the vibrations of the whole world right now? I know it's a big ask. Do you think meditation is like the best and only way we can do this?
I think there's going to be many roles that are going to come up soon. People, I mean, there's people who are going to do like silent protests, peaceful protests, the other route. So, but also
Yeah,
I think, coming together in meditation and then doing prayers together can be very powerful too.
yeah, exactly. I think maybe,
In the same way we're doing it in our lives, we can
yeah.
expand that.
Do you think maybe next week we could all agree
Yeah.
when the music comes on at the end is when we all do our collective prayers for everyone?
Yes, for like more peace and more.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
there's
don't
so
know.
many things happening.
I know there is so much happening all over the world, and it's all kind of just, it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. And it doesn't matter how positive you want to remain and not be drawn into it. In some way, I feel like we have a responsibility to also send love and do what we can to help those who are affected by everything, but whilst also keeping our own vibrations up, which is so difficult. But I
Yeah,
think
it is.
it's hard. Like what we're doing here is so special, and if we can at least just be conscious next time to do it as a collective in here, because I feel so much power when we meditate together, and I think we can probably all make a difference and not feel useless, because we're not.
So, so two things come to my mind. One is, I mean, hats off to the thought itself, because not many people think that way. But let's step back and look at, see if there are. So what happens if you see what is happening in America and other places, what happens is that people who are not elevated enough get too much power and they do what they think is right. So think of each one of us should elevate ourselves to a higher, and maybe the highest levels. Think of like Buddha, single-handedly changed millions and millions and millions of lives, right? And in a positive way. And this has been happening throughout history in different cultures, different places. So the key is that we elevate ourselves to, a level that we have that power that changes and transforms others, unlike, some of the change and transformation that is what we are seeing right now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that. It's very insightful, and it just kind of reaffirms to myself that I think we can all do this. We can help assist those who are out taking action, like physical action, by protesting or whatever's going on. And we can kind of support them from behind, like be their support to fall back on and their comfort blankets with our peace and our light. So, yeah, thank you. As always, very insightful. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And I think one other thing that comes to my mind all the time, in one of the articles I wrote about 5 chairs, the person who came up with this concept of 5 chairs actually started a piece, got a lot of awards for that. So he started several peace initiatives, and there is an org that he set up, which was nonviolent communication. And when we think about nonviolence, I think a lot of people don't understand that, you know, to when you have an aggressor and you have an approach to nonviolent communication or nonviolence in itself, think about the kind of strength you will have to have yourself to be able to push back without violence to people who are coming, with brutal force. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of grit, and there have been, um, many, many, many cases where nonviolent protests have changed the direction of a country, a culture, a community. So, and I think, Christy, what you're saying is the collective prayers have a lot of strength. So, absolutely, we should all do that.
Thank you. And just again, thank you both for always coming with topics that really make us think and evaluate our behaviours and how we're feeling and what we're doing, what we're not doing. It's important, especially right now. So thank you both for always being so committed to this for us and for everyone. We'll speak to you next week.
Yeah, and your participation, you part of it, right? You're integral to this effort here.
Thank you. I think we all are, and even if we don't realise we are, we
Yes,
are. We all
absolutely.
get so caught up in our lives, our family lives, our work, but it doesn't mean that we can't make a difference to the rest of the world, because we really can. And I think this just reminds everyone, I hope.
Yep. Awesome. On that note, I think love, light, and peace be with you. Great discussion. Thank you, everyone. And glad that we were here in Satsang, and hope to see you all soon.
Namaste, Bhaiya. Namaste, Parul.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar, Bhai Sahib. Hello, Parul. Very great session. I usually am not able to join these Saturday sessions, but I'm very grateful when I am able to. Have a nice day, and thanks for all the thoughts.
Thanks for being here.
Namaskar, Anita ji, Sangeeta ji, Ila, Ashita, how are you?
Radha Charana Sparsh Bhaiya.
Thank you.
Hello Parul ji. Hello to everyone.
Hi, Paula, Jeff, Taru, Geeta, Purva, AC.
Namaskar ji, thank you, as always.
Poonam ji, Pooja. Those, okay, so see you all. Hopefully soon. Mahima ji, Namaskar.
Thank you so
Pranam.
much.
Bye now.
Pranam, Bhaiya.
Take care. All right. Namaskar, Sangeeta ji.